electricity poles, generators, transformers, and the like. You have thefts caused by the cost of the tariff of electricity.
Yes.
Now, our expectations was that for the last 6 years or so, since UMEME has been managing the electricity distribution network, these are issues it should have sorted out.
And they've not been able to do that.
It's all there for the public to see.
No, well, you are a policy analyst. Tell us, is it something not even an angel maybe could have sorted it out?
Not an angel?
Well, maybe they're doing their best, and then it can't get better, really.
We don't pay UMEME. We don't pay UMEME to do the best. We pay them to deliver services to the best of our expectations.
You think they are incompetent, or is the circumstances?
Certainly, the evidence on the ground would show that UMEME is the most incompetent managing institution that we have in this country.
Mr. Ogwal, Ugandans, some people say, are very flexible people. Even when problems come, they can withstand them. Do these outages affect business?
Certainly. Business suffers with power which is not enough and power which is expensive. So it gives you a big problem because you have to be competitive within the country, but you also have to be competitive with products which are possibly coming from countries like Egypt, which have really very low tariff. So it becomes a big challenge for business. But having said that, the current situation as possibly look at, I wouldn't be so unfair to UMEME. I would look like, when you look at the figures, if the demand is 445, it may mean that we are demanding more, we are developing a little bit faster than what is possibly being generated. So it is a case of demand and supply. It's just like a supermarket. UMEME is like a supermarket shelf
which runs out of sugar.
So if a supermarket shelf, they don't produce sugar.
True.
They don't sell sugar.
Yes, go on.
They just provide the sugar to the shelf.
Yes.
So looks like UMEME does not have the sugar to give out to the consumers.
Right.
So if you take that analogy, maybe the answer could be in one, increasing the supply of energy which UMEME has.
Yes.
Irrespective whether they are not efficient or so on, but the bottom line is the energy is not enough.
Right.
The other thing is possibly we need to use what we have more efficiently. So power efficiency use is something which we need to mainstream in our production process and usage in the whole country. Using possible alternative power if the current power which comes to the grid is not enough.
Right.
So there, in my view, short-term measures which must be taken and long-term measures should actually we should have enough energy produced.
So you're saying we should really not be blaming UMEME. They are like the caretaker. They didn't cause the death. They don't generate power.
Not fully to let them off the hook, but it is clear, even if they did increase their losses, still there will be a gap.
Right.
Look at the gap.
50%.
It is now coming to the worry if the generators, again, the second ones, also have this problem. We may be shooting to a high peak of 200 megawatts. Which is, the situation is bad, it could get worse.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Mr. Mubiru, let's talk about hospitals. Why do you switch off hospitals? A child died in Entebbe. Why don't you leave those places with constant power?
First and foremost, we're really deeply hurt by that bereavement that occurred in Entebbe. Yesterday we had an opportunity to take our journalists to see the damage that was caused. In my experience in the energy sector, I've been in for about 15 years. I can only equate that. I've seen only 2 accidents on that scale. It was a major outage. Lots of equipment was damaged. We're not going to have a pity party here. But the bottom line, the facts on the ground is all the equipment that serves those areas went off. It just so happened that it coincided at that time when that child needed attention. And just to augment what Florence said, the reason why power kept on coming on and off is that we're trying to use what remains of the network to extend to those areas. Actually, most of the crews worked well into the night and even early morning, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And we had projected that the thing would normalize around today, but we're lucky by yesterday we had already managed to restore to about 90%. And we're still working. The system is stretched, and our policy is not to switch off. I'd like to echo what the former speaker said. We just don't have enough juice to give out. There's just not enough juice.
Right.
Yeah.
Florence, talk to us about the future, the coming couple of weeks. What can we expect? We're going into Christmas and other things. The New Year, what can we expect?
Okay, for the coming couple of weeks, what we're trying to do is to stabilize the system to be able to accommodate the customers that we have added onto the existing network. So we're trying to work around to monitor the systems to make sure that they are stable, such that all of us share the little power that is available. Further to that, we're trying to update our customers so that they plan accordingly. We do have a communication mechanism that we have put in place, what we call the incident room, which is linked to various radio stations, including Radio 1, where we air messages at 7:30, at lunchtime, and in the evening, advising our customers where we anticipate certain eventualities to happen so that they plan for them. I once again want to echo what a previous speaker said. We need to economize, we need to work efficiently so that the little that we have, we use it efficiently.
What do you mean work efficiently?
As far as, for example, the industries are concerned, many of us are using machines in a way that is not efficient, such that we draw a lot of power.
Explain what machines, ironing bones, irons and what?
I'll talk about a simple example.
Right.
In our homes, we do have bulbs that are 100 watts. I would recommend that we put energy savers. I can see
the old bulbs that create heat.
Yeah, those old bulbs,
the ones we grew up with,
that create heat,
yeah,
are a disaster as far as energy use is concerned. If we could all put in the simple energy savers, which are 6 watts, 9 watts, we would draw less power and leave power for our neighbors to use.
Because this is a strange situation. You are in the business of selling electricity. You should be desirous to sell more, but now you're saying eat well, so we don't have too much to sell to you.
Yeah, I'm glad you've brought out that, because we are worst hit by this situation. We're in the business of selling power. We have no power to sell. Once our customers have to draw more power, the system is stretched. We may end up in a situation where we have possibly a total blackout. So we encourage our customers to conserve on the energy so that we can share the little that we have available.
Listeners, this is Spectrum on Radio 1. Tonight, the public outrage over power cuts. Public outrage over outage of power. What can this country do to deal with this matter? I have two officials from UMEME, someone from AFIEGO, a policy analyst from AFIEGO, the energy NGO, and someone from the private sector foundation. We'll go for a break later, and then when we come back, you'll be able to contribute to this discussion. Florence, talk to us about the power losses. What's the figure at now? We know it keeps going up and down depending on who's speaking.
Of course, the figure is a moving figure.
What's your figure?
The figure right now, as we speak, it averages at 28%.
Yes, for how long has it been there?
Yeah, when UMEME came on board, the figure stood at 38%.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to inform the listeners that 1 percentage point is equivalent to $1 million annually. So bringing a 1 percentage point downwards requires rigorous input, which UMEME is currently inputting to be able to bring down that figure. There has been a lot of effort. Effort is still ongoing to manage this situation.
What are the targets? Next 12 months, 24 months, 48 months?
Maybe we can just highlight a bit more. This figure is actually a very transparent figure. Losses are determined this way: what you buy, the dispatches, and what you sell. Even if you don't come to UMEME, all you have to do is go to transmission. They are very much interested in what they sell to us because that's how they make their money. They bill us. So they must get that right. In fact, we have to reconcile our figure with theirs.
Yes.
That's a regulatory requirement.
Right.
They don't reconcile their figure with us. Number two, what we sell. What we sell, we have another external party, third party who's very interested. That's URA.
Which one is that?
URA.
The Uganda Revenue Authority.
As soon
the
as
tax body.
Yes, because they're interested in their 18%.
The VAT.
Yeah. And that runs into a tidy sum every month.
Yes.
As soon as we close our billing, they're at our doorstep. How much have you sold? They reconcile the figure. They take the money because they have to report to.
Go on.
So you subtract the two: dispatches minus sales. You get losses, and you can do that independently as.
No problem. But who's to blame? You're not doing what you're supposed to do.
Okay. First and foremost, when it comes to what we're supposed to do, we've exceeded the target we were given, and from where we started, again using what's dispatched and what's sold from the beginning of the time we started running the business in 2005, these figures have been offered in the public domain to the regulator and to the public every month in, month out, and we've dropped from 38 to 28%.
What's the future like? You're complacent.
In the same period. Let me give you a good example. First and foremost, we're not there yet. 28% is high.
What do you want to be? That's what I want.
We'd like to be where Kenya is at 16%.
16%.
But note this, that over the same period, Kenya dropped from 19.8% to 16% over the same period.
Yes.
3.5
percentage points.
So again, these are public figures.
So you've done 10 percentage points.
Yes. And we're going down, and you've heard the impact of each percentage point from what Florence has said.
Mr. Bwesigye, these people are not that bad after all.
Well, we can speak and talk about statistics, but what matters at the end of the day is what is read out there, or what is seen out there in the public.
Well, but you're an analyst. You should explain this to the ordinary person. You can't come out with a hammer, hatchet, when you know the problem.
To me, just like I said, I would first of all agree with the gentleman from private sector and these people from UMEME that obviously they don't have the juice to sell.
Yes.
And
it's not their
they're
fault.
in a catch-22.
They don't make the juice.
They don't make the juice. They're in a catch-22. What is happening now is just boiled out anger that is coming from the public.
Scapegoating.
A good enlightened people in the community know, or consumers know, that the problem may not necessarily be UMEME, because it doesn't generate the electricity. The demand keeps on increasing while the supply side is flat or keeps on falling backwards when Electromax and Agreco switch off some of the electricity. But you see, the bottom line at the end of the day is how best has UMEME come out even before these issues, before the current crisis?
Yes.
What type of service were they delivering to the communities, to the consumers?
Okay.
To me, at the end of the day, the riots you're seeing in the streets are a result of that.
All right, this is Spectrum on Radio 1. Tonight, the public outrage over power cuts. What can Uganda do to deal with this matter? We're going for a break. When we come back, we'll talk about prepaid meters. The effect of Bwesigye. Will it take out power outages? We are expecting them to come online in November. Now we don't know when they'll come online. November is almost out. Raising of tariffs. Government removing subsidies. Do stay tuned. We'll be back.
Is your internet provider turning your world upside down? Broadband Company offers fast and reliable internet solutions. And for the first 100 subscribers this month, we offer zero connection fees. Save up to 400,000. For more information on these offers, call toll-free 0800 222 111.
Broadband Company, more than you expect. John, Mike and I, we go back a bit. We knew John at the beginning, working for someone else. But he was different. He had vision, saw opportunities. He started working towards his goal, opened his own garage, and worked, learning the hard way. His reputation spread. Trust, consistency, quality. Soon people were coming to him from all parts. He made himself and his whole street prosper, and also helped friends, seeing potential in people and helping them on. But John never shouts about all his success. He's just who he is. Special.
So here's to men like John, who make a difference, who enjoy Nile Special, the rich satisfying taste from the source. Nile Special, you've earned it.
Not for sale to persons under 18.
Let the sunlight in.
Good morning, sunshine of my life. You look happy today.
I am. I came in here and I saw there was a whole pile of washing to do.
But I thought you didn't like doing the washing.
No, I love it. Anything else you need washed?
Sunlight 2-in-1 with added fabric softener smells so good you want to use it again and again.
Let the sunlight in.
Sunlight 2-in-1. Sunlight clean, sunlight fresh.
Sunlight in. Happiness is all around. Let the sunlight in.
Spectrum on Radio 1 FM 90 is brought to you by Stanbic Bank.
Welcome back on Spectrum. Tonight, the public outrage over power cuts. What can Uganda do to deal with this matter? Our guests tonight, Mrs. Florence Nsubuga, Outage Project Manager at UMEME, Robert Mubiru, Regional Manager, Kampala Central, Mr. Moses Ogwal, Director, Policy and Advocacy at the Private Sector Foundation, and Mr. Don Bwesigye Binyina, Program Officer in charge of Electricity Democracy at AFIEGO, the African Institute for Energy Governance. You'll be able to call in and contribute to this discussion. Mr. Mubiru, can you talk to us about there was this plan to introduce prepaid meters instead of guessing people's bills?
It's not just a plan, it's something that's already underway. We have already rolled out prepaid meters. We've installed about 6,000, going 6,500 in the Chitintale, Luzira, Mbuya, Bugolobi, Mutungo areas, and that's an initial 10,000 that we're putting in. We're using it as a pilot and also as a springboard for rolling out the program. We have started. We're not looking back. We are already in negotiations with the regulatory authority to see how best to roll this technology out. We've already set up pay points. People are picking their tokens from capital shoppers and from our offices on that side, and even the center of town and at ShopRite. So it's started and it's working.
When do you expect it to be rolled out nationally?
Well, next year we're starting. I mean, a rollout is a rollout. You start from where you started and keep rolling out.
And when shall you have 100% coverage?
That is part of the negotiations with ERA.
That's the Electricity Regulatory Authority.
Yeah, sorry, with the Electricity Regulatory Authority. There are all kinds of implications in terms of impact on service delivery, funding gaps, and things like that. So those are the kind of things that are being negotiated. A very aggressive rollout could have an impact on the tariff. A very light one might not meet the public expectations. So it's a matter of balancing it. But as I said, it has started. Nobody's looking back. Where it's full speed ahead.
Florence, talk to us about the effect of Bujagali. When it comes online, maybe this month, maybe next month, what will it mean? Shall we not have any more power shortages?
Right. I'll start by again repeating the power shortfall that we have right now. During the peak time, we have a shortfall of 150 megawatts plus. The first phase of Bujagali, we expect to get 50 megawatts possibly by the end of this year. That will give us a relief. To put it into perspective, 50 megawatts would cover an average of about 50,000 domestic users. It is significant as far as our customer
50,000 domestic users?
Yes, please.
Yes.
So that is significant as far as our as far as our customer base is concerned. So when Bujagali comes on board, the first phase, we shall not have load shedding wiped out totally, but we shall have a relief.
All right, there's a plan, Mr. Ogwal, for the government to remove subsidies. More than 50% of the bill is paid by the government. What impact would this have? If it actually, is it practical, or would it destroy the economy?
As I said earlier when I was beginning, we were already at a very disadvantaged position in the line of being competitive. Reduction of that subsidy, which has been a cushion, and that cushion has not been good enough to make us very competitive, will worsen the situation. Currently, as you know, interest rates have gone up.
Commercial bank interest rates
have gone up.
Yes.
So if you start adding up those cost centers for cost areas for business, transport is up. If energy again worsens, you are pushing somebody to the worst position. I think that's not a very good idea.
You don't think government should remove the subsidies?
I would expect that government should not remove the subsidies. That's one. And secondly, even if they don't remove the subsidies, the current situation is still not good enough. We possibly need a little bit of actions, which a little bit of loss of revenue, say generators, use of generators like 100 kV, possibly the diesel should be duty free as we used to have at a certain time. I know
the diesel for the generators.
Diesel for the generators.
Yes.
You see, when power is what you live on, it is different from when power just supports you. Those are two different things.
Right.
In a home, power just supports you.
Yes.
In industry, you live on power.
Right.
So those are two different situations. Look at a barber. If you went to a small